Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Jason. I will be your host on this CFL talk show, Hussey's Huddle. In this video, I give my game picks for Week 14 of the 2021 CFL season. But really quickly before we get started, if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Hussey's Huddle for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's dive into an exciting Week 14 in the CFL. So much on the line for all of these teams, especially the BC Lions against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll just jump right in here. The first matchup of the week, basically do or die for the BC Lions in this game. I think the spread I saw was 6.5 in favor of Hamilton in this one. And I really do like Hamilton to win this game. I think one thing that BC is really struggling right now is with their line play. They're not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they're allowing pressure on their quarterback. And then, with the added pressure of being on the road in a pretty hostile environment in Hamilton, I really do like Hamilton to win this game, even though I don't think BC will go away easily. I think Mike Riley has another gutsy effort like he had last week against Toronto. But I think ultimately Hamilton will win this game, clinch that playoff spot. They have so much on the line. BC, basically, if they lose, they're basically done, and then the playoff field is set in the CFL this season. But, there's still so much to work out in terms of seeding, and the Tiger Cats are chasing that first seed in the East the rest of the way. So, I think Hamilton will win this game. Give me a final score of 24-17, with Hamilton covering the spread by a touchdown, and we'll see how that works out. But I think it's going to be a competitive game nonetheless, but I think Hamilton ultimately gets the job done. And then Saskatchewan going to Edmonton on Friday night of the second half of the doubleheader on TSN. Going to be not a very interesting game, to be honest with you. I think Saskatchewan's going to roll, and I think ultimately Edmonton is it's just done in terms of their motivation to play well this season. At this point, again, you're just evaluating for next year and who is worthy of being on this team. Nick Arbuckle's not ready to start yet. I don't blame them, because it would be irresponsible to throw out your quarterback that you just acquired and that you see as your starter next year, presumably, out there after you just traded for him 2 weeks earlier. So Taylor Cornelius, a guy that I just haven't seen much in at the quarterback position, will be making another start here. And I think Saskatchewan's defense really eats the entire day. And I think this game is a potential blowout. And I think we finally see a really good game from Cody Fajardo that we haven't seen in a while. He's kind of been stuck in the mud a little bit the rest of the second half of the season here after starting out really well. And I think ultimately we have one of those big games. Look for Shaq Evans, the guy that just came back from injury, to finally have one of his first big games this season. And I think Saskatchewan rolls 31-10. And then the Saturday games, Toronto going to Ottawa. Another straightforward pick for me. I'm going with Toronto to win this game. It's a 10.5 point spread in favor of the Argonauts in this one. Even though the Argonauts offense is really struggling right now, especially in the passing game, I think there's been a mixture of mistakes by the quarterback position, missed throws by McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and drops by this receiving core. I think they get a little bit back on track this week, like a lot of teams have gotten back on track against the Ottawa Redblacks this season. And I think ultimately they put 30-plus points on the board in this one. And Ottawa, I think maybe they get a couple garbage time touchdowns, but ultimately they just can't move the ball consistently at the CFL level, and they've really shown that game after game this year. And ultimately, Ottawa's defense, again, not very good. They're going to give up 30 points again. And I think the final score, like I said, is going to be 35-17 in favor of the Toronto Argonauts in this one. And then finally, the most interesting game of the week for me is Montreal going to Winnipeg. And the big wild card is, will Winnipeg play all of their starters throughout the entire game, even though they really have nothing to play for standing-wise? They've already clinched first place in the West Division, and they're going to be hosting the West Final. But they still have 3 games to go, which is the big wild card here. And that's why I do think they're going to win this game against the Alouettes. Trevor Harris going to be starting at quarterback for Montreal. The last few years, I'm a big fan of Trevor Harris, but he has not played very well against Montreal, even back to 2019. And, against Winnipeg, So I really don't think that Montreal's going to have a lot of success offensively in this game. I mean, maybe they keep it close, and the 12.5-point spread in favor of Winnipeg may be a bit too much, considering the circumstances of Winnipeg going to be playing probably a lot of backups in the second half. Maybe not playing all of their backups and pulling their starters right away, but I think that Winnipeg going to be at home. They're really motivated to continue this hot streak and not really slide into the playoffs like we've seen other teams do in the past. And so I think Winnipeg will win this game. If I had to give you guys a final score, I'm going to give you 23-14 in favor of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in this one. I just don't think Montreal's going to score all that too many points in this game. And I think Winnipeg has the matchup in a lot of respects. But that Montreal defense is playing very well right now. That's why I don't see Winnipeg completely blowing them out. But with that said, those are my picks for this week. Be sure to let me know in the comments section what you guys think. And with that said, enjoy week 14, everybody. Peace.